A life-altering day for Congresswoman Corrine Brown. Her job in Washington is now changing as she stepped down from her position as ranking member of the Veterans Affairs Committee.
The move came just hours after she was formally indicted on 22 federal charges, including fraud. The Congresswoman and her chief of staff both pleaded not guilty today at the federal courthouse. Our cameras weren't allowed inside, but an artist drew these sketches for us of what he saw inside. A 6-month-long grand jury investigation looked into a charity for which Brown served as a spokesperson and how money raised by the charity was used. We began with Channel 4's Francesca Amica. Francesca, the Congresswoman finally spoke about this, and she is adamant she is innocent.
She is extremely adamant. In fact, she's no newbie to this. She's been fighting off challenges in Congress for the past 2 decades, and things are no different today right here on the steps of this federal courthouse, as she said she will continue fighting against this indictment.
My heart is just really heavy. This has been a very difficult time for me, my family, my constituents, but I'm looking forward to a speedy day in court to vindicate myself.
Full vindication. That's what Congresswoman Corrine Brown demanded Friday afternoon after being indicted inside this federal courthouse. A months-long investigation into an unlicensed charity based in Virginia revealed that Brown used money from her campaign to give to the charity One Door for Education and even deposited some of that money into her own personal bank account. According to prosecutors, Brown and 2 others used money donated to the charity to buy plane tickets, repair their personal cars, and to pay for luxury vacation in the Bahamas, Los Angeles, and Miami Beach. The indictment said more than $200,000 from the charity was used to pay for Brown to host a golf tournament at TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, to pay for lavish receptions, a luxury box at a Beyonce concert, and a box when the Jacksonville Jaguars played the Washington Redskins. Though the defense can't present its side until trial, Brown and her attorney shared their disappointment of the investigation on the courthouse steps, even alluding to the Orlando terror attacks.
I represent Orlando. These are the same agents that was not able to do a thorough investigation of the agent, and we ended up with 50 people dead and over 58 people injured. Same district, same Justice Department, same agents. And with that, I will see you in court.
There's all scuttlebutt a lot of times. You don't necessarily know what to believe, but once an indictment comes down by a federal grand jury, that's a big deal.
We sat down with Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis, who says public corruption is held at a very high priority in Congress. He shares what could be the Congresswoman's fate if indicted.
She's obviously has the ability to defend herself, and she can remain in the Congress even though she's indicted. And she can run for election again, and the voters can factor that in. But I can say, if convicted, I think these are serious offenses, and I think it would result in her being expelled from the House of Representatives.
And if convicted of all of these charges, the Congresswoman could face up to and be sentenced to 357 years in prison and fined $4.8 million. We're now reporting downtown. Francesca Amica, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Fran. There are 24 counts in the indictment listed, but 22 of those counts apply to Brown. 19 apply to her chief of staff, Elias Ronnie Simmons. Prosecutors detailed what each of the counts against Brown carries when it comes to possible prison times, fines, and restitution. Count 1, conspiracy, that carries a maximum penalty of $250,000 as a fine and a prison term of up to 20 years. The mail and wire fraud charges, those carry the same sentence, and in fact, the maximum possible penalty for 17 of the counts listed is 20 years in prison plus that $250,000 fine. Count 19, that is scheme to conceal material facts. Counts 21 through 24, corrupt endeavor to impede IRS.